Senna Solo lent me her really small underwear. They were so uncomfortable that I really just can't do that. You know, that episode was so much fun for all of us because it was like theater school. We were all in the bar and we couldn't leave because of the big forces. And we just sat there and really helped each other out. You know, we would read each other's lines for us. I have a video of Senia and Anna doing the scene that I did with Mike Fran, who played Bo.
The Southern police officer guy.
That's right.
The bounty.
And it was really, we really just helped each other out. You know, Senia would come and she's like, how would you do this? It's how would you do applause? It was so much, I think it was the most fun we've all had together.
Yeah, we don't ever get to spend that much time together on set. We all are in different scenes than each other, so it's rare that we get to sort of spend that much time in one episode together.
The reverb in here is fantastic.
I know. I'm echoing. I'm the only one that never got to, I didn't really get to copy anybody because I played somebody who wasn't one of us, so I kind of had to make up crazy pants all by myself. I got it crazy. Yeah.
Maybe we should pass this thing out into the mic.
Out into the mic? Audience? Yeah. There you go. You did?
I did. Okay, I'm going to start back here and come up here.
I was just wondering, in the episode where Bo kills Nadia, sorry, spoilers guys. Do you remember what was going through Lauren's mind when she was witnessing that? Because you did a brilliant job of just expressing so well everything that the audience was feeling, but any specifics you could give us on that would be amazing.
Well, thank you very much. That's kind of you. I remember that scene was a really tough scene to shoot because, especially for the girl playing Nadia, Carquenas, who's a tremendously talented and beautiful actress, she had to kind of really embody all of this stuff, and it took a long time to shoot. So I remember it being a complicated scene. It was really long. It was one of the longest scenes I've shot on the show. And then in terms of character stuff, it was crazy because Lauren actually asks Bo to kill Nadia, which was a great, I think, a great choice on behalf of the writers to have that be the case, that I had to ask her to kill my person, my girlfriend. So I think it was like, it was a really lovely moment to act because it was a huge swing between I desperately needed her to do this thing, which was going to be devastating at the end of the day. So it was, as an actor, one of those moments that you kind of hope for, that you get to kind of play all of the intricacies of what that might. And then I had to imagine that, which is almost impossible. Just about to imagine that scenario and how one would react to it. And all you can sort of do is be as present and open in the scene for that kind of a scene. Just hope that you organically find it. But yeah, it was a great scene to shoot, but a tough one for sure.
Hi. This question is for Zoe. At the end of season 3, there's a lot of questions about Lauren / Karen, whoever. And where's Lauren, which is the hashtag on Twitter now.
She's here in Texas.
But she had that whole scene with Bo where she was telling Bo about how the Fae ruined her life and
the breakup scene.
Yeah, and thanks for stabbing us. Yeah, thanks for stabbing us Documents fans in the heart again. But she says to Bo, I loved you, past tense, and we assume she's saying all this just to convince Taft that she's on his side. So my question is to you, do you think Lauren really still loves Bo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she does. Yeah, I would say she absolutely does. I don't think that she's in any way a fickle person. I think that she absolutely loves Bo. I think that it has become way more complicated, despite knowing, Lauren always knew that the relationship was going to be tricky, being that she was dating a sex fiend. Which is difficult in any relationship. I think at the end of the day, she for sure is still in love with Bo, and I think she needs to protect herself. Yeah.
This question is for Chris. So, in a one-on-one fight, who do you think would win, Dyson or Quint from Underworld Awakening?
Lauren. Sorry.
Well, now that Lauren's learned how to splice DNA, you know, sky's the limit for Lauren.
You guys, I'm coming this way.
You know, I'm sorry to say, like, Quint's, what, 20 feet tall, and all Dyson can do is turn into a fuzzy husky. I think Dyson's more charming, and I'd rather spend time with Dyson, but I think Quint would probably step on him and not even know he was there.
This is for Chris. At the end of season 3, we all want to know what happens to Dyson.
What, you mean what happened in the moment?
At the end, we all saw him go off the cliff.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait. What can I tell you? I really, you know what? If I told you right now with all these video cameras rolling, Jake Firestone and Emily Empress would literally jump me when I got off the plane. Yeah, they were just like, I would literally all of a sudden just spring out of the wall somewhere. Yeah. No comment. Sorry. I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew actually. We don't really know much right now.
So your girlfriend makes my girlfriend want a girlfriend? That being awkward and funny and uncomfortable, what are some of the funniest and most awful moments that happen when you guys are doing skin seasons?
Skin scenes. Well, the first skin scene that Anna and I had to do in the pilot, which showed as episode 8 in season 1, was, you know, one of our leftovers when she just come in the door and we were like really kind of violently, but like really passionate with each other. I found myself getting ready to shoot the bed part of that scene with Anna, and we're both in, what can I say? Okay, I wear a little sock or something, you know, to contain the junk. On the junk. And she wears a little patch to contain her beautiful womanliness. And so we're laying there naked, and the scene starts with me on top of her, right? And then we do a rollover. But while we're sitting there waiting for the camera to roll, for it to check the makeup, guys, dudes all around, adjusting lights. I'm really naked, except for this little thing. And I look over my shoulder, and I realized that all of the video village, which is where the director and producers, the writer, they all sit with their, their screens to watch what the camera's watching, are right beside my butt. And I'm a skinny guy, so like when I'm like bent over, I know they have full view of my body. And it was one of those moments where I was like, the entire production can see my butthole.
I love your butthole. I don't know, sex scenes are always funny, and they're always a little bit different. Like, they're never the same, and I don't know, I don't really get totally used to them. It's always, the first few minutes are a little awkward because they have a robe. There's always the costume designer or the person on set who's in charge of wardrobe is there to sort of put a robe on you immediately as soon as they say cut. So there's always that moment where you're scrambling, and anytime you try to put anything on quickly, like my leg goes through the armhole. But for me, the thing that I always think about is whenever you're on top, because girls, what they do on set for sex scenes is they just put little pasties on. So you just have little, and they just cover so little. And then you have to hang over whoever you're doing. And so they shoot you like that. It's the least attractive visual ever. Because they're just hanging. There's nothing to keep anything in. That's what I'm left with. And now that's what you're left with.
Hi, speaking for all of us regular people in the world, we look at you actors and actresses and think, wow, they're so fit. What are they doing, you know? And can you talk about what is your lifestyle like? I mean, are you just eating you know,
We eat
bean sprouts
parasites.
and you work out every day. Is that part of your job? Like I get up in the morning and I go to gym for 3 hours every day. And how do you do it?
Teamwork.
I actually don't like the gym at all. I hate it. I would much rather do like a sport or something than go and run on a treadmill. So I don't do that sort of thing. I don't actually don't work out a ton. But you no, but my mother had pretty good arms, and I think I just got the rest of me said shh show. But that's so I show them. You?
I was pretty lucky. My mom had like a six-pack without ever working out until she was like 50. And I did a lot of sports as a young man, so my body just kind of remembers that. So for me, I swim a lot. I do like simple weights, but it's all about just watching what you eat. You don't need a lot of sugar, a lot of crap. You know,
Okay. So I want to first say that The Untitled Works of Paul Shepherd is one of my favorite movies. And I haven't seen Sex After Kids yet, but I can't wait to see it. I was wondering if you have any other projects or book you coming up besides Lost Crossing before?
Well, we both did, Sex After Kids is the film we did with Jeremy Long. We did with Paul Shepard, and they're looking for an American distributor right now. He's written a new one, which we're taking a look at, and we're not sure how it's going to come together. I did a film in the fall called Return, which some of you may have seen the Spanish trailer, Leo Tornado. My Spanish is fantastic, I must say. It's kind of a tragic love story set in a sort of post-apocalyptic world, but that'll be out. I think they're festivaling this fall, so probably a really good release. And besides that, Lost World is coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Once Lost Boys gets started, there's not a lot of time to do anything. So going to the bathroom, you just have to do it next. I know I did a movie called Sorry, I don't know why I said. I did a movie called Cold Blooded about a year and a half ago, which is doing the festival circuit as well, and then we did Sex After Kids, and again back to Lost World. So. Oh, I did a movie called Patch Town. That's right. Which is a crazy fun little movie that it did really well at Cannes and TIFF. They did a short version of it, and then they developed it into a feature-length film. And I think that's really what it's about too. That's right. I forgot about it.
Okay, this is for Chris.
No, I just said, be careful. There's no banister here, so watch what you learn.
Whispered it to me and then announced it. Everyone can see everything.
Actually, I'm a good keeper.
This is a perfect segue. I was the one who took your picture last night when you were bent over. And I just wanted to let you know, in case you were worried, I did not get a picture of your butt crack.
Thank you. I actually thinking about that this morning. Like, you never know when someone's going to take a picture of you. Yes, young lady in front.
I got called on. Sorry.
Take your time. It's all good. Susie, your arms are going to get tired very soon.
It's worth it.
My question is about episode 8 of the first season, which I know was the pilot.
That's right.
But it looks like the scenes with, most of the scenes with Bo and Lauren might have been filmed much later, because Anna's hair is a lot longer.
Excellent observation.
And I was just wondering, was the pilot like short and they had to add this later, or were scenes replaced, or why were those filmed later?
There was a problem with the film when we originally shot it, and we had to replace the footage.
It's a reshoot.
It's a reshoot.
So good eye. Yeah. But those scenes were originally in the pilot. They just got had to
They
reshoot.
were pretty
shot.
much verbatim, just shot a little bit later.
Thank you. That's gonna kill me.
If you guys could do a crossover with any other show, what would it be?
I would want to do, it's not even, I don't even think they shoot it anymore, but Torchwood. I love that show. I would love to be on that show. Have you ever seen Torchwood? Oh, you should. Go.
I have 5-year-old kid, and it's one of the shows I'm like, you're gonna watch it at some point. I hope you like space. It's such a forward-thinking show. You know, it has so many amazing things talking about society, philosophy, space, future, time, fun stuff.
This is for Chris. When you did Underworld, how did you get into the role as the Lycan or whatever? Because you go from the role from Moscow to that role, so how did it correlate to getting that position?
That's a good question. It was the accent helped a lot. I couldn't really step out of that and do something, create something different. Funny thing about that was the two directors, the Swedish team, and they had no idea about Moscow. So when I did the audition, I just kind of did a wolf out with them, and they're like, "Oh God, that was so good!" You know, like right on the spot. And then, Quint's originally the script of Underworld 4 was a really great little story, but when they decided to make it 3D, they really cut out a lot of the story, a lot of the scenes that my character had, and replaced them with like fins flying out of the screen, which I thought was a real drag. The original script was great. So when it came to shoot, I had very little to really hold on to. I was just this kind of brooding guy. There was only really one scene that I talked about like my mother, and that's the kid I had, the character arc. So it wasn't that hard. I just had to kind of go into the more vicious side of myself and like put that in a quick, not even thinking about Tyson except for the wolfy outy parts.
Taking pictures too.
So this is for both of you. What would be the hardest character you ever had to play?
No, but I'm just going to think of until like herbal diarrhea. We're really classy folks. I think I played Wayne Gretzky in the Walter Gretzky story. And I think, I didn't grow up playing hockey. I grew up in a totally different sporting sort of world. So I had to learn to skate quite well. And then it was just also the responsibility of playing this very iconic Canadian figure. And I remember there was this one scene, it was his retirement skate, and we were shooting it at the Rex Hall in Edmonton, Northern. And they had 3,000 volunteer extras for the scene. And all of these people had been there for the original scene, and they were so invested, and they were reliving this incredible moment for themselves. And I'm out on the skating rink, and I felt like such an imposter. I mean, I'm just this Canadian actor, and like they're giving so much love. And it was a real lesson to me of like, I have to step up and be here for the people who are reliving this moment. And it was so emotionally powerful. Like when I got back to my trailer, I remember I was really overwhelmed with feelings of like just not being worthy of it, that I was an imposter, and it was a really humbling and lovely experience being able to be there for the people who you're making something for. And it was a great lesson to me as an artist that sometimes you just ponder other people's feelings and emotions. I think that was it for me.
Actually, now that he says that, I did a movie actually really early on in my career where I played Patty Davis, which is Ronald Reagan's daughter. And similarly, just doing a part where you're playing somebody who's first of all a real person, who's alive and very likable to watch it. And it was really early on in my career, so I felt too a lot of responsibility to kind of make sure that I watched videos of her, and I read books, she's written books, and she's had quite a life, Patty Davis. So to have to play somebody, and then I was doing the movie with James Brolin and Judy Davis, who are both so amazingly talented, that I think roles like that where you play somebody real is harder, because there's not a wrong way to do it if you're playing a character. There's a boring way to do it, or an interest bad, but there's not a wrong way necessarily, whereas when you're playing a real person who's alive, you're accountable to the people that know and love them and to them. So lovely that character, yeah.
This question is for Zoe. I know that acting comes
from within and is sometimes an extension of your personality. And as a Scorpio, do you feel that you have more fun playing a dark, rebellious punk rocker, Patsy Stewart, or the dark, mysterious, and sexy Dr. Lauren Rose, aka Karen Lady?
I definitely like people who have edge, for sure. I like to play characters that have edge, and I like to play characters where you're not sure necessarily whether they're, the first season of Lost Girl, we weren't sure whether Lauren was a good or a bad person, and I really had a lot of fun with that. It's great to play those characters. But as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm starting to find it more interesting to play characters that have a little more fun, take themselves a little less seriously. So I'm just starting to turn the corner in that way that, like acting, I think for a lot of people when you first start out is a way to express whatever's going on for you, and as you get older, the artistry of it I think comes in a little more. Now I'm more interested in playing characters that are less like me than more like me. Yeah.
Hi. Where do you feel or want your characters to go in the 4th season, and how do you feel that Townsend might play as a interference to both your characters' interests? Assuming you ever have one.
She must die. She must die yesterday. I kind of love that Tanson's around, actually. I really, really do. First of all, I think Rachel does a fantastic job of playing her, and it brings a whole new dimension to the show. I think she's got a great vibe, and I don't know, as far as where Lauren's going to go, every season I think I know, and I'm never right. They do a really great job of figuring out new stuff for us to play, so I think it would be interesting to see. I wish I knew, because we don't have the scripts yet. We don't really know what's happening, but in terms of that character, I think that the more the merrier. Bring them on, It's great.
Yeah, I totally agree. Rachel's been so fun to work with. Her and I are like, I found my goofy twin on set. We literally bump into stuff or each other all the time. Like it's always said, the writers do such a great job of always surprising us. So I always kind of like the idea of, the love triangle, like consummating itself, but I don't know, I was probably still pining after Bo, keep it secret, of course. Power, really stoic. But I'm sure they'll find some ways of getting me to step out of my comfort zone too. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. And as far as Rachel, she's a little bit of salsa on top. So we'll see what happens. That's a totally roundabout way of not saying anything.
Hi, I have a question. I've always had this fascination with the living wall, Dr. Lauren's apartment. Does it smell?
Yeah, that's big.
We like to roll around naked on that wall. Chill ourselves out there. So yeah, it smells horrible.
I don't actually think I've ever smelled it. Believe it or not. My apartment is so crazy because it's like pictures of women making out with each other. Every time I go in there, I'm like, do people have this stuff on their walls? Is this usual? And then doing wall of grass, and I love the apartment. I think it's awesome, but it's very specific to my character.
Some fan, I think, came up with the idea that the original Ash was sort of mechanical in its qualities is actually in that wall thing, kind of like Han Solo's in the carpet. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun.
Which case it smells.
Like a dude who hasn't washed in 3 seasons.
Okay. Hi, I'm a big fan, by the way. I wanted to know, is there a dream role, say in a book or comic book, or a role that's already you would portray that you would really, you were like, oh man, I really wish I could do this or be this character?
There's been few over the years, I guess. But because there was such painful things to think about, I usually forget about it. Person Bradley from Legends of the Ball. Especially that fella that I don't even know your name, he plays in Game of Thrones, plays Lannister, Jamie Lannister. Who was that actor, by the way? Nicholas? Yeah, that guy. Can you guys go get him? He does a great job. He's got a far better chin for that role than I do. I mean, I'm totally wrong for it, but I always loved Wolverine growing up. I'm a blonde, fuzzy guy. Come on. He's supposed to be 5'2". Yeah. But I think he does a great job as well. I don't know. There's been a lot. It's hard to put it down. Yeah. I like superheroes. Green Arrow. That was one of them.
It's a little obscure, but there was a movie that Claire Danes did not long ago called Temple Grandin.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, she did such a beautiful, brilliant, layered, complicated performance that I wouldn't even nearly want to touch it. But that role was such a fantastic role. And then the character that it's based on, who was obviously, she's a real person who's autistic. And you can YouTube Temple Grandin. She's this extraordinary woman who couldn't talk for the longest time growing up. And her mother, who relentlessly believed in her when everybody said this girl is not going to amount to anything, worked with her, and she's become a brilliant woman in life and has autism. And Claire Danes played her in Temple Grandin, and I would love to have played that character, like a really interesting human being, and she brought such dignity and empathy to that portrayal. Stuff like that. Something like that.
In the episode Lost Girl where everybody switched bodies, how fun was that episode for you? Or what did you do to get into each other's characters?
I just got drunk. Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't get the opportunity to study anybody. The guy who I was playing, he only did a few minutes of a scene, I don't even think it was like a minute of a scene that I sort of had to then take what I saw from him and create Raynard. And it was one of the more challenging things I've had to do because just, it was really out there. The character was so out there, and I really had to abandon any sense of being self-conscious and just being self-aware and just go for it. And it was one of those characters that you just have to, you really have to check your ego at the door. When they say action, you have to go 1,000%. And so, I can't really watch it, to be honest with you. It makes me want to sort of kill myself, but it was a good challenge.
And I was the opposite. I had so much great footage. Ksenia to work with. Ksenia, she's fantastic. I would go over to her apartment, her mom would film us, and we would swap roles back and forth. And she would give me little tips, and then I would just watch her body language. She always had tucks up, just like little taps, with the needle on the bar. It's kind of awkward when my sister was ready to do on the bar. I think it worked out well. Cheers to Ksenia. That was really fun.
Obviously you're sitting here in just day-to-day clothes, but your costuming in the show is so fantastic, and so I'm curious how comfortable you guys are with that, how much control you have over that, and how you would like the costume or don't like it, what you would change.
Well, I mean, the real costume designer of the show, the one who started is Ann Dixon, and she had a great vision. She would build a lot of things custom, but she was also very, she would listen to us when we talked about what we thought about our characters. Or like when I needed something for a fight sequence, she's got me something way too tight. She would really adapt so that I could move. Or when we did the flashback scenes, she was great. We built a whole look about where these guys had come from, and it was a sort of mixed genre thing. It wasn't really authentic. The old world was sort of like fade up, but she had this great gift of bringing this sort of supernatural to historical pieces. Like all the vest things I used to wear, they're all custom made that she designed. brought a little more elegance, a little more fashion to it, and I know that Zoe would want to appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I mean, Ann Dixon is there aren't enough words. She's such an extraordinary costume designer. And they're really lovely about, you know, taking our preferences into account. You know, there's no sort of militant, you must wear this. Everybody, if there's something that is not feeling right or it's not feeling the character, you're welcome to kind of bring it up. And they're really great about that. And then Maureen, because she's just a different human being, has brought some other vibe to it. And it's been kind of fun to get that too, you know, get another bunch of outfits that Lauren can wear.
Hi. I'm a Middle House girl. I actually just consumed the last 3 seasons in the last 2 weeks.
Awesome.
So I really enjoy the show. Actually, it's a really interesting question. You might get it a lot. But seeing the show, I realized, how do you guys manage to be so hot? Like, you guys just hot all day. Like, both of you just glorious. So I was wondering, you guys get that question?
Well, as you can see, that it's all the professionals that we work with. This is the real deal.
Bumble, diarrhea, that's
No, I'll give it all up to lighting, good makeup, good hair, and good costumes. Like, honestly, we're so well taken care of. People are like, you guys look so great. It's like, yeah, because we have a team of awesome professionals to make us look that way. Yeah, you know, and then we have David Green, who's a brilliant cinematographer, and he puts us in these really soft, warm lights that make any blemish disappear. Right? Yeah. I was actually watching this. I'm catching up on the episodes to make sure that I'm prepped for this season, and I was looking, I was going, damn, you look pretty good. And then I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, I don't love showbiz.
Lighting is pretty much everything. The lighting in this convention does nothing for anybody. Out there, it's like a grocery store. It's like, Jesus, there's everything.
So I also have recently been watching Netflix, and especially somebody here in Texas, where we have such a Texas identity, the ideas that you guys play with is it Canada, is it America, is it Amsterdam? So what city do you guys think Lost Girl is set in?
It's in your city. I don't know.
It's actually in Des Moines.
No way.
Okay.
Baton Rouge, maybe.
Okay, we'll go with that.
So, how long does it take y'all to prepare for the episode with your lines and stuff like that? What do y'all have to do?
We have earpieces.
Shooting a TV series is fast. So as soon as we're finished shooting an episode, we do a read-through on the lunch usually for the next episode. So one lunch per episode is dedicated to a read-through of the next episode, and then we're shooting. So it's fast. It's really quick. So you kind of have to have your character down, and get your lines down, and you go. It's quick. It's not like a movie at all.
I have a question. Sorry, that was, I'm not expecting that to be so loud. This one's for Zoe. I just wanted to know, you said you got surprises with Lauren's backstory, and you said that it kind of affected the way some of the decisions you made with acting with her and how she was portrayed early on. Is there anything you would go back and maybe change if you had the privilege of her backstory from the beginning?
Yeah, there was, I mean, I don't even know how to be specific, but there's a couple of moments where I would say a line, and I wasn't sure really how to say it, but I didn't know the intention behind it, which is kind of everything is an actor, your intention, what you want out of your actor, out of your scene partner, and what you want, your objectives, sort of everything. And there's a couple of moments where I was unclear, mostly in the first season, when I didn't know if she really loved Bo or if it all was just a ploy, or where her loyalties lie, if she was really sort of working for the Ash, or I had no real answers to any of those questions. But I think it worked out okay. I think I had to play stuff really on a line a lot. I really had to play stuff in a way that if anything was revealed, it was fine. Like I sort of said it that way, or there was a lot of that going on. But she's a lot clearer now to me, the character. She's still sort of mysterious, but I think we understand she is inherently good, and she has both best interests at heart now. I think we know that, unless something changes, which it could. I don't know.
Yes, this question is for Chris. I was just wondering, what's it like for you to do a scene and speak growling and all that stuff, and then you come back, maybe a few weeks later, and you see yourself on screen, and you see that really cool lighting effect on your eyes and the roar they add to it. What's that like for you?
I'm like, thank God for CGI, because honestly, when I do it, sometimes I just feel like a monkey out there. You just hope it looks good, right? No, I can't do it right now. There's no CGI person here.
Don't do it.
Yeah, when you see it all come together, when you're doing it on the day, you just trust that you're like, it's all energy. You're just like trying to get into this superhuman energy zone. And you hope it translates. And usually, thank goodness it does. The reason why I can't do it right now is I kind of have to go pee and then get back to that.
Anyway, next question.
This question is from Zoe. We've heard the story that Dave Firestone tells about Chris's audition, so we know what scene he did. There's 4 scenes in the pilot with you and Bo. Which one of those was your audition scene?
We did the one in the bar in the pilot episode, and when I very first examined her, where I say, my God, you're beautiful. So that was in the audition. I think there may have been a third one, I can't remember, but definitely those 2, when I first sort of examined it the very first time. And I think I did 3. There was one, just a regular audition, then a callback, and then a screen test with Anna to see if we sort of had anything between us that translated as chemistry.
Definitely.
Anna and I knew each other beforehand, like not well. We weren't friends, but we had known each other just from the industry. So it was nice to be in an audition with somebody that we sort of have a connection with already. We were friendly at that time.
Is there any blooper material you'd like to share with us?
There's always blooper material. I think they did a blooper reel for season 2, which I think is out on the web, right? You can find it. And unfortunately, they haven't made one for season 3 yet.
They probably won't.
Yeah.
There's always bloopers. We don't do one scene. I don't think there's a scene I've shot where we haven't messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're either falling down, bumping into each other, something's not right.
Sex scenes have a lot of wardrobe mishaps, often, where you show too much, or the camera catches the side of the pasty. There's a lot of those moments where you're strategically trying to make out somebody, but you place your arms in such a way that it's like insane. There's nothing normal about it. So there's a lot of wardrobe malfunctions for sex scenes. And then where you
My question is, if you could choose what creature you want to play, what would you play? And Chris, would you still want to play a werewolf?
I think, would you want to be, and what I want to do? Yeah, you know what? I love doing the wolf. It's great. To tap into the animal side and how to use that as a character springboard, I guess. It's actually been really a blast. I wouldn't really change it, except for get a better wolf. Well, yeah, our wolf is kind of similar. I want a real wolf. That's my only complaint about my character. Yeah, I want a real wolf.
Okay.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Vex. Yeah.
could you talk about the other cast members, like Anna and the other ones, what they're like in real life?
Well, I mean, we're so fortunate. We're really good pals on the show, you know, and everybody's really lovely to work with. And Anna leads the team, and she's probably the single most lovely, kind, thoughtful, generous, charming person you want to work with. She's the lead of a really popular show, and she's probably the most humble human being I've ever met. She really is. She's pretty grounded and lovely. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that, she's very good. Everything.
Anna is from Cape Breton, is that right? Right. And she told me that when she was growing up, sort of something that was in the community or her family would say is, strangers are just friends that you don't know yet. And like that's just so sweet. And she's like managed to bring this with her all the way along. And yeah, that's Anna. And all the way down, like I don't know, we're so lucky on the show, like from even our execs and stuff like this. Like Jay is as kooky and crazy as he is, his heart is so into the show, and that's just such a gift to have the person who's running it really believe it. Straight down our writers, Ian Brock, amazing production designer, and all of our actors. We're all really close friends now. That's rare, and I think it also helps our show. It's all about chemistry, right? And we're very lucky to have great chemistry between everybody.
And I say it over and over again, but we have the single best fans in the world. Like the
Absolutely.
They are. They're extraordinary. They're passionate. They're invested. They're involved, and they have brought us to where we are. And we couldn't have done it without the people that tune in every single week. And I speak on behalf of everybody, but we're grateful. So thank you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end. We have this last question.
It better be the best question. Go.
I told her, no pressure.
Merchandise. There is no merchandise on live philosophies. No t-shirts, no jewelry, no dolls. You know anything about that coming up?
I have no information on it. I mean, I guess that's sort of something the producers have to do. Do you know anything?
I don't either. I would say, is Jay on Twitter? I would say email law schools, because I know Jay Firestone is very interested in that world. I know he wants to do stuff. He played around with a little sort of mobile game this year, the law school app. But I know he wants to continue. He wants to brand it. Potentially we'll do a feature film down the road. I don't know, but yeah.
Wow. We'll mention it.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
I'm not going to turn it off till they get up and walk away.